Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a fun way to support the channel is by leaving a like, by leaving a comment, or by subscribing if you have not already done so. Please understand that none of this, anything that I say, is ever to be taken as investment advice. Please do your own research. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. There has been a massive discussion, and this was a discussion many years ago, but usually people don't talk about it. I saw a lot of articles popping up in the last couple of days discussing how much Bitcoin is owned or controlled by the wealthiest people on the planet. The news being that apparently at the moment the largest Bitcoin addresses or wallets hold around 1/4 of the entire Bitcoin in existence. That's a lot of Bitcoin. If you've been following this channel at all over the last year or so, give or take, I had an entire series, I guess this is now a continuation of that series, of how much Bitcoin rich people are buying. I think a lot of times when I make these videos, I don't know if people, I'm sure you understand what I'm actually saying, but the actual gravity of the situation, when I make a video and I say all the rich people are buying all the Bitcoin, or there's not much Bitcoin left, it's not to get you hyped and be like, oh yeah, this is it. No, it's to let you know that if Bitcoin does in fact become the #1 or one of the only currencies on the planet, rich people will own the vast majority of it. That's why it's quite significant when we did in the older videos get some kind of news that this individual owns 1,000 Bitcoin. This company owns 8,000 Bitcoin. One person owns 37,000 Bitcoin. This other company owns 138,000 Bitcoin. If you missed the other videos as well, one of the topics, if you will, was if Bitcoin was fractionalized, which it can be fractionalized, got it, but given equally to every single person on the planet, every single person would then get, I believe the number is 0.003 Bitcoin. When you talk about someone owning 50 Bitcoin, this is hundreds, thousands of people on the planet who will never, ever be able to own as much Bitcoin as that one person. When you talk about an individual owning 50,000 Bitcoin, those are millions of people who will never be able to own, never, as much Bitcoin as that other person. I saw a lot of people discussing this because a lot of people were not scared, but like quite annoyed, and well, I thought that Bitcoin is supposed to be decentralized. That's not decentralization. You're conflating and completely mixing the two. The idea of decentralization for Bitcoin comes down to the amount of nodes or people validating transactions that there are on the network. It's the amount of ways, basically the amount of computers on the planet to make it so that someone can't simply walk up to one wall, unplug the electricity, and then Bitcoin's network goes down. That is decentralization, and this continues to get bigger and bigger every single day because there are tons of companies who have gotten into the cryptocurrency space to make sure that they are also mining Bitcoin as well, because Bitcoin is quite valuable. There are also many other companies who are trying to make it so that we have like nodes and mining equipment in our phones. How feasible this is, no one actually knows, but it's kind of a little buzzword at the moment. That is actual decentralization. The decentralization of wealth. On this channel, I will only, as much as I can, best to my knowledge, tell you the truth. The decentralization of money is never going to happen because we see now that the rich people already own everything. The idea of them simply going, oh my gosh, like we need to give everyone a fair share is never going to take place. Over the year and a half, we have heard from companies, banks, hedge funds, institutions, corporations, wealthy, gigantic whales, rich people, that they allegedly have been in the cryptocurrency Bitcoin space since anywhere between 2014 to 2017. They've been buying up Bitcoin for a very long time. Part of the issue that I think other people have is that they told you to get out of the market so that they could buy more Bitcoin. And this is where I think a lot of the confusion is coming from, because a lot of the companies, if you watch my other channel, it's called The Modern Investor. The really fascinating part is I do daily news on that channel. This one's more of a commentary or discussion about certain things. The other one is just news. If you listen to the news daily on that channel, you see and pick up the pieces and the puzzle pieces that over the last couple of years, a lot of these companies, if you dig even further, now are coming out saying they're in the metaverse, they're buying this, how much they love Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin they own, how much Bitcoin mining equipment they own. But if you look back a while ago, they hated Bitcoin. Bitcoin was terrible. Bitcoin's awful. It's so bad. Remember the phrase, blockchain, not Bitcoin? That was a very popular phrase by about 15 different companies who now, for some reason, see how amazing that Bitcoin is. Just understand, in the most honest terms, this is not going to stop. The idea is that now Bitcoin is potentially, no one knows, going to be digital gold. The idea being Bitcoin's value will continue to increase as fiat paper currencies continue to decrease in value. As more people dump their paper money into Bitcoin, Bitcoin's value will go up. As Bitcoin's value continues to rise rapidly, so is the idea that Bitcoin will eventually be adopted by countries, which we're already seeing, to be their version of gold as opposed to holding physical gold itself. And therefore, if there are new currencies in the future, they will be based off of how much currency, how much Bitcoin that country is currently then holding. For those of you who also missed the news, there are a lot of analysts who believe that Bitcoin at some point could potentially, no one knows, eventually hit between $10 and $100 million per coin. You can find it. This has been discussed since 2012, 2013. I know it seems like a long time ago, and it's also even so strange to think that back then people were already talking about how high Bitcoin was going to go, and then you look at some of the people and the companies who were talking about it who are now into Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes to, now here's the actual kicker for you right here. The idea being, if there's a chance that Bitcoin could go to $10 million per coin in 15, 20, 35, 40 something years, rich people will want to have all of it. Not some of it, every single piece of Satoshi that they could possibly have. This is why you may notice why we have an increased amount of news about rich people who are buying up Bitcoin, whether they be A-list celebrities, B-list celebrities, footballers, basketball players, people in the sporting section who are now getting their entire paychecks in Bitcoin. The idea being, if I can, not financial advice, if I can accumulate something that is 50,000 right now that could potentially go to 10 million, well, I'll be one of the richest people on the planet. Bringing it back to the idea of the people who've been buying Bitcoin years ago who now have 10,000 Bitcoin. I do believe, this is my personal belief, that Bitcoin is going to do just fine for a very long time. I do, however, also believe that the gap between the rich and the, I think we're going to have to find a new word for people who have nothing, and that's not even a joke, is going to widen so far, even more than it already currently is, especially what we've seen over the last 2 years. I think it's going to be an actual shock for billions of people on the planet just how large the cryptocurrency space actually ends up being. The amount of Bitcoin on cryptocurrency exchanges continues to decrease. The mantra that Bitcoin is going to reach very high numbers is also constantly in the news as well. And just to make it abundantly clear, this is not only taking place with Bitcoin. It's taking place with land, in real estate, in air rights, which are also a thing because we live in a dystopia. It's also happening with Ethereum. There are tons, handful of investors who got in when Ethereum was 50 cents. And one of the legends goes is that someone ended up buying $1 million worth of Ethereum when it was 50 cents. That's 2 million Ether. And I'm going to assume said person maybe did not stop buying when it hit $1, $5, $10. Even then, you have more of an incentive to continue accumulating. This has happened with XRP. This is happening with Lumens. There's also been news about Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. When rich people figure out that it is possible for them to make massive amounts of money, they buy up everything. In the cryptocurrency space, they're called whales. Same exact thing for the stock market as well. The rich will always be rich-esque, especially when they realize that they can profit hugely from something. So just thought that I'd clarify that, because I've seen a lot of people talking about, first of all, if you go by this metric, yes, it is completely unfair, but also at the same exact time, understand that this is how the world works. A large portion of the market over the last couple of years has been to scare people out of the market so that you sell and they buy, or the other portion being to simply tell you not to get into the market at all, but we're not going to talk about that because there are a number of countries who are currently doing that right now. I do hope that you've all enjoyed and understood. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, that works. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See